Hi, me again. So we made it through yesterday. They had, they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us with the EMP nuclear blast drill, Russian rocket. Today there's an asteroid 2 times the size of the Empire State Building. We've had a simulation of a banking collapse. They're telling us that the grid and they've got pastors meeting to talk to us about aliens. I mean, they're throwing it all at us. So, um, obviously, there's something going on with the view count, which I'm not all that concerned about, except it's been the same for 48 hours, and then all of a sudden I get a comment pop up without a change in the count. But she says, sorry, I shouldn't assume. C.L. Morris says, "You are correct, but please don't be anxious. Just continue researching for how to counteract the problems." That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Anxious, that's just me. Like I said, I'm a little squirrely. And today I've had the attention span of a fruit fly. There's just so much going on. But the louder they bang that fear drum, the madder I get. And I really don't want to put anger out. I kind of believe that, you get back what you put out. I've been trying to rein in that whole, yeah, why are you masking your, don't you, yeah. So when I started this, it was about sharing information. And I've met a couple of people. I mean, the person I met in Canada, we are emailing almost daily, and I've been kind of lax in the last, I'm sorry, but he sends me stuff almost daily. And it's been, I know, shares great information, and he thanks me for what I share. So, I really envision trying to help each other as to what can we do. There are groups on Telegram. There's one called Tori Says. Now, Tori, she has a podcast, and she's involved with Millie, who was involved with AJ. And anyway, I've listened to a couple of her podcasts, but on her Telegram, and now I'm in Illinois, so it's Tori Says plus Illinois. They're teaching how to do lawfare, to do your own affidavits and pro se cases, and they did a writ of mandamus. I mean, they're teaching you how to do it yourself and how to contact lawyers. There's a guy, Tom DeVore, who's doing amazing work here in Illinois, having great success. And it's very inspiring, really. There are groups that are, they give each other things to do, and they're doing it. I don't have the attention. Most of the problem that I have is that I am not very technically able. Now, when you look at, I've got 1,081 photos, and I would say 60% of them are memes. Now, most of these memes, well, I won't say most, these are from White Rose. White Rose is a Telegram channel that also has state groups. I'm on White Rose, Illinois Southern, Illinois South, maybe. But they are doing, if you email them, whatever, you don't have to give your name, but you email them your address, they will send you stickers. And people are leaving these stickers. You may have seen some. Just, there's one, this is child abuse. We can transmit a disease we don't have to people who are immunized against it. Yeah. Or one with the thing saying, breathing in my own bacteria makes me healthy. But they've got there's a list that'll show you what the stickers are. Sometimes you're able to pick out which ones you want. But my idea was, and then there's a channel called David Avocado Wolf. He does awesome memes. And I've got, like I said, probably 600 of them on this are just memes. I would like somebody to teach me how to lay them all out on a screen, to print off so I can cut them and just leave them places. They don't have to stick. You can leave them on people's windshields or whatever. Just drop them in the floor or on the counter in the bathroom, whatever. I was listening to yesterday an interview with Mickey Willis, the guy that did the Pandemic with an L movies. It's on, if you go to Nerve Center, Pulse of the Nation, and then it's a podcast on several different platforms. But they're talking to Mickey Willis, the director. It's a beautiful conversation. It's 2 hours long. I know it took me all day to listen to it. It's worth the listen. It's inspiring. But he gets into talking about the mass formation without calling it that. But he's saying that they've got researchers that have found that pretty much every time there's been a tyrannical takeover, a totalitarian takeover, they've done it with this formula. 30% of the people are like hopelessly ensnared in whatever narrative they have. 20%, well, the way he said it is 30% will always take whatever the narrative is. They won't question. They'll believe whoever the experts are. 20% won't. And then you've got the 50% who kind of fluctuate back and forth. They kind of go with whatever they see the most. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I mean, but like I said, the Matthias Desmet, if you have the time, listen to that because there's a science involved here. It's psychology, which is kind of a questionable science, but whatever. I mean, that's something people need to understand. There is a David Whitehead, who I told you, I have told you in the past, that he always leaves me feeling very inspired. He's doing a series called Cult of the Medics. He's done lots of studies into cults and whatever. I mean, he's had a podcast for years, and he's researched all these groups and conspiracy theories. But he's looked into cults for years, and he'd been wanting to do this series for years. And he's something told him to just wait. Well, here we are. And he's like, been gathering information all this time. So he just put out chapter 6. Now, here's the thing. I know most people that are just now waking up to this, and my heart hurts for them. They don't want to know why. Why? This is the most evil thing. Who would do this? Watch that. He explains who they are, where they came from. These ancient groups, societies they didn't go away. They changed their names, and some of them didn't even do that. But that's the thing is, people don't understand why. Well, they've done this over and over and over. The props change, but the script is the same. They want techno-feudalism. It's the same, like I said, it's the same families over and over and over again. But now they have the technology to do what they want. Think China. China is the beta test with their social credit score and, the technology that's being used over there is, well, it's my nightmare. I think everybody's nightmare. Klaus says by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. Yeah. So, and there are people that are like, oh, nobody owns anything. Nobody, everybody has, and you don't understand. If you don't own it, who does? Somebody does. If you're renting it from somebody. But the thing is if you don't get off the table, Chicky, get down. We don't hardly use this room, and she thinks she owns it. Anyway, um, they want complete and total control of everything. Have you ever seen that series on Netflix called Black Mirror? That's what they want. Did you see the one where the kids are peddling the bikes for their credits? And even their squirt of toothpaste in the morning costs whatever it costs. But that's one of the things. What's going on with your electric bill? Because they were telling us, last month, the month before, everything runs together, that energy prices were going to skyrocket. And they had. I mean, last winter in Texas, some of the bills that people were getting were just unbelievable. But they had said that Maine, their bills went up like 60% or something ridiculous. And then this thing with Kazakhstan has to do with the uranium supply. So it's like, are they going after all energy? Yeah, I think they are. And I will get into that on another video. I was looking, there was an explosion at a power plant here. It might have been June. My husband says, is that nuclear? I don't know, maybe, because I know we've got one somewhere nearby. So I got to looking it up, and it was the Baldwin Power Plant, which is in Sparta area, which is close to the Mississippi River. And the Baldwin plant and the Joppa plant, which is down towards Kentucky border, were both scheduled to be shut down by 2025. Now, the one just caught fire. How convenient. They want to shut it down. So I was like, we need to keep an eye on the Joppa plant. But, they're trying to get rid of all the privately owned coal-fired power plants. Now, Southern Illinois, we've got coal. We've got lots of coal. And we've got clean technology. I mean, SIU in Carbondale, that's one of their things that they offer is clean coal technology. But they're shutting them down. Well, they've also, that way, out towards West Frankfort, started, there's just, I don't even know how many acres of, they're putting up solar panels. They're wanting to put everybody on, electric cars. Now, how many houses are on my block? To charge a car takes 75% of the energy that a house typically takes. So I don't think people are thinking the whole logistical, because we've got 2 cars. My neighbors have 2 cars. My other neighbors have like at least 4 cars. Yeah. Anyway, I'm all over the place. I told you I've got the attention span of a fruit fly right now. There's just so much coming at us. And my whole vision was to share information. So what's going on where you're at? What's your ideas as to how we can get through to the people that are going, that's not right? Because they're the ones that we got to get through to. We've got to get these covers off our kids. It kills me to see my kid, my adult child, that just has to keep his job. I know most people are just trying to keep their job. They don't understand that their jobs aren't part of the future plan. At least not the ones that are in charge right now plan. We got to connect those dots for them. Klaus wrote a book. He told you what he wanted. No private property. You will do what you're told. And if you don't, they take your money away. They shut you off. I tell you what, we got to do something, and whatever. I will not live in that world. So whatever we got to do. I don't want my children to have to grow up that way. My grandchildren, I see their little faces now and know what's coming for them. And, grandma's pissed. So if I have to look like an idiot, but, anyway, gotta go. Much love.